Can I get a quick confirm? And we are also going to do in-depth automation testing. To start with, we are going to do data-driven automation testing. So data-driven automation testing is nothing but testing your API with multiple values of test data. And we can test it with multiple values using Postman functions, or you can supply the data from a CSV file. So example, let me show you a Postman function that I had used earlier here. So if I go to one of the APIs, so here you see I'm using some variables to do it. Otherwise, I can also show you here. Yeah. So this is a function that I have used. In Java, we have this function, and this function will automatically generate a number between 0 and 1000. Like this, there are so many functions available. Example, if you see, I have another function that I have used. So these functions I'm going to use to generate random data and test the APIs multiple times. See, these are the functions that I'm using that are provided by the Java programming language. So I'll explain all these things. Right now, it's a little haphazard way of showing to you guys, but I wanted to give you that feeling that, yeah, this is what I mean when I say this. So we are also going to create the test data from a CSV file as well, and we can supply the data. That process, we typically call it as data-driven automation testing. Then we also do interoperability testing, which is typically testing your APIs on multiple operating systems and multiple browsers. Okay, so if you see here, we have done this interoperability testing here by using a function called random user agent. So I'll explain again what is user agent, all those things in client and server architecture, then you'll understand it. So interoperability testing is nothing but testing your APIs compatibility on various browsers and operating system. So I'll explain this again in depth when the time comes. In the meanwhile, I have a question from Sai. He posted on the chat. So he says, hello Kiran, how much proficiency do we need to write the scripts? Or we can easily learn by flyway with some documentation. That's a good question, Sai. Trust me, you don't have to learn JavaScripting for Postman tool because there are three reasons. Reason one, the scripts are available within the Postman tool. You can automatically generate the scripts from the Postman snippets. Two, you have an AI feature, artificial intelligence feature, where we can use prompt engineering and get the scripts on the fly, which we call it as post-bot feature. I'm explaining that. Three, if you still want to write on your own, you can write it. I'm also teaching that mechanism in the course. And Postman follows JavaScripts, which is Chai JavaScripts, an English flavor of JavaScript. So the scripts look as if you're writing English language. So three reasons why you don't have to learn anything. You will be easily understanding all these things as I teach it. Okay. Then I have another question from Jaya. Do we cover contract testing? No, Jaya, I'm not covering contract testing in this course. And this other question from Laiku. Hi, Kiran. Do we always use JavaScripts in Postman or we can also use Python? Okay, the good question. The answer is Laiku. We use only JavaScripts because Postman is compatible only with JavaScripts. Python does not have a scope in Postman. And then Jaya says, can you write your own functions? Yes, Jaya, we can write. We are going to write in our course also. Okay, am I clear? And did I answer all your questions? Please say yes or no.
So Kiran.
Yes.
So Kiran, do we need any basic knowledge of JavaScript? Because I don't know anything about JavaScript.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There is no need to learn JavaScripting because Postman tool provides the interface to write the scripts automatically. There are some built-in templates which we can use. We also have an AI feature using which we can write the scripts. So you don't have to learn anything on JavaScripting.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Yeah. Then I'm also teaching in this course the performance testing of APIs. In that, there are four strategies I'm going to pick: fixed strategy, ramp up strategy, spike strategy, and peak strategy. And we will generate HTML test reports, PDF test reports for performance testing. Okay. Okay. In the meanwhile, a few more questions from Subrat. Let me read it and answer. Do you cover schema validations? The answer is yes. Do you cover microservices testing approach? The answer is partially yes. Certainly, because when I'm teaching REST APIs, we are covering microservices for sure. Do you teach how to validate status codes, response time headers, database validation? Of course, yes, Subrat. The answer is yes. Yes, yes, yes is the answer for all the three questions.
Hey,
Okay.
Kiran.
Hello. Hi.
Hey, sorry. So my quick question. This is Shramik. I mean, you see it as like a, but um, so my question is, so you're just saying that Postman is used only with JavaScript. What if your application architecture is not a Java-based uh, application? Can you still use Postman to test those APIs?
Yes, because your application might have been developed with any other programming language.
Mhm.
Example, except Python. Your developer has used Python.
Right.
That is the programming language your developer has used to develop the backend APIs or the front-end application.
Mm-hmm.
And what we are doing in Postman is validating the responses coming from the server when the API request is executed.
Correct.
And the response you get from server is mostly JSON or an XML. To validate that, you can use any language. And Postman says we use JavaScripts to validate that.
Okay,
So,
got it.
so our testing validations is independent of the programming language used by your developer or my developer.
Yeah, cool. Thank you.
Sure, thank you. Okay, I'm happy. Questions are coming in slowly. Thank you very much. But still, do feel free to interrupt me or put a message on the chat. Anything is fine with me. And let me also continue. Then we will talk about another testing technique or continuous testing or scheduled testing. This is something very interesting and very important in automation testing industry. What this feature does is I can put a scheduler in my Postman tool and tell the scheduler, this is the area where my automation scripts are developed. Every day in the morning at 10 a.m., execute it. Again in the evening at 6 p.m., execute it. Every time you execute it, send a report to me and my developer. So you can outsource your execution work to Postman tool, and Postman tool will automatically do it on your behalf. Even if your Postman is closed, even if your laptop is closed, even if you're on a vacation, or even if you're on unplanned leave or a sick leave, or you're on a planned leave. You just put the timer in Postman and Postman will take care of it, giving an impression that you are actually testing it. So that fantastic feature is also there in Postman called monitors, which I'm going to explain. Then most of you ask me JavaScript's assertions, right? Not only one or two assertions. I think one of you just asked me, right? I think Subrat asked me this question. So the different types of assertions I'm teaching, not just theory, practically using JavaScript is response code assertion and response message assertion. Then response time assertion, I'm teaching you practically. Then response body assertion, response headers assertion. I'm teaching the JSON value checks. I'm teaching enum values also. Enum means, simple example. In my response, gender is there. Gender can be either male or female. So I need to write a check that my gender in the response can be either male or female. So that kind of checks I'm teaching you. Then we also teach, I also teach conditional statements, how to use if else blocks. And we can, though we write these scripts, I don't want it to execute. So you can comment it out or skip it. I will also teach that kind of thing. And introducing delay. This is typically ensuring that your execution happens slowly so that you can witness the results slowly. I'm also talking about the different data types checks, like how do I know whether the response that I'm getting for a particular field is of data type integer or string or character. That automation also will do. Then we'll capture the response attributes and print them. We'll capture the request attributes and print them. Then a lot of other things are there, like asserting for multiple response codes, doing negative testing that this should not be the case. setting for multiple response codes. So there are so many conditions I've considered here. Apart from this, there are so many others that I'm going to teach. Then we're also going to talk about API chaining automation, then end-to-end user journey test, meaning something like the user logins, then he checks his account balance, then he transfers money to Kiran, then again he checks his account balance, then he logs out. So that's a journey that I have taken. So this kind of testing, we will do it from APIs as well. Meaning you will take one use case, one scenario, and you will automate that. How do we do that in Postman? That I'm going to show you. In fact, I have done that in my previous batches. You see user journey 1 and user journey 2. Just to give an example. So the user logins, he views account details, he clicks on the balance, money is there, so he transfers money. Then he will see the last 10 transactions. If he wants to provide a feedback to the bank, he will log out. That is Kiran journey 1. Then there could be some other person's journey. Let's say Subrat journey. He logins, he checks account details, he will see the balance, he'll transfer funds, he will also log out. So this kind of journey level testing also we are going to automate it. That's in chapter 6. So we are picking one REST API project and automating it end to end. Then in chapter 7, I'm picking up SOAP APIs, which is my project 2. So in SOAP APIs, I will take one sample application. Example, there are so many applications on the internet. Like I'm showing you one application right now. So this is one SOAP API project that's there on the internet, which is a calculator-based application. And if you want to see the API documentation for this, it is also available here. So this is the code the developer has written. This is the request. And this is the response we have to validate. Similarly, he has developed code for other 3 operations. So we are going to test that particular project, which is a SOAP API project, from starting until end. Meaning chapter 6, I'm doing it one more time for SOAP APIs in chapter 7. So chapter 6 is REST APIs. Chapter 7 is pick up a SOAP API and start automating it. So same stuff you will see again here. Then in chapter 8, this was a question I think one of you asked me on the chat also, that are we covering the artificial intelligence feature in Postman? The answer is absolutely yes, we are covering it. Postman came up with this AI feature called PostBot, using which you can do prompt engineering and generate scripts on the fly, just like ChatGPT. Okay. I see a question on the chat from Hewot. Hi Kiran, are we going to cover LoadRunner? No, LoadRunner we are not covering in this course. That's a performance testing tool. We are not covering it. Because on the course syllabus you have sent me, it says LoadRunner, or is this different course? Okay, sorry, this is different course. This is API testing with Postman, Hewot. We are using Postman tool and other tools, but LoadRunner I'm not teaching in this course because completely different tool from what I'm teaching. Okay. So coming to chapter 8, I'm introducing PostBot AI feature with Postman tool, and these are the steps I'm going to help you with REST APIs as well as SOAP APIs. Okay. Then I will also show integration of Postman tool with the GitHub tool. See, GitHub is a Microsoft-based remote repository where the developers and automation testers does version control management, and they take a backup of their automation code or developed code in the GitHub repository. There are other tools like Bitbucket and GitLab, but I'm picking up GitHub because 75% of the market share on the IT industry is completely on GitHub. So I'm going to teach what is Git, how to install, what is GitHub, how to sign up and sign in, how to create a repo, and what are the series of commands you have to execute using Git to submit your data from automation scripts in the Postman tool until they go to GitHub repository. So finally, what will happen? You will see the code something like this once I push it here. So this is something that I have done earlier. So once I take a backup in GitHub, this is how your structure looks like. So this is the project work that we completed in the previous batch. And this is the test data we prepared. And these are the test results we have generated. So all that information is completely available on my GitHub. Meaning we are taking a backup and doing version control management on the repository. Okay, so that's on the GitHub side, integration of Postman with GitHub. Then chapter 10 is integration of Postman tool with the Newman tool. Newman is a new tool from Postman, a command line interface, meaning you have to execute the commands from the command prompt only. And using Newman, you can generate HTML test report, JSON test report, CSV test report, XML test reports. So from the command prompt, I'll show you how to generate this, how to do functional testing, how to do performance testing, how to do data-driven testing. But for a change from the from the command line interface. Postman uses graphical user interface. Newman uses command line prompt. That is only difference. So from here, if I execute, it is Postman. But from command prompt, if I execute something by typing Newman something something like this, I will execute some commands. This is from the Newman from the command line interface and will generate nice HTML reports. Example, if I have to show you one HTML report, how it looks like. So this is the performance test report in PDF format that I'm going to generate. And I'm going to show you how to generate these kind of reports in Postman tool. This is performance testing, by the way. Then if I have to show you one HTML report, yeah, so this is another HTML test report that we are going to generate. And there are so many other types of reports that we are going to generate. So you'll see them. Okay, I see a question on the chat now. Let me see the question first. Okay, Laiko says, do you cover error scenarios? Of course, yes, we are going to cover. And I'm covering it when I'm teaching you this topic. In chapter 3, when I'm teaching these 3 testing techniques, I'm going to cover all the error scenarios. And the next point is to understand the root cause, right? So I'm going to explain all the root causes troubleshooting here. There is a chapter dedicated for that. So this chapter 15, troubleshooting and debugging. So that will answer both your questions. Yeah. So this is about the Newman tool, guys, that I'm going to show and generate test reports. Then in chapter 11, I'm teaching one more integration, which is my 4th integration now with the Jenkins tool. So Jenkins is regarded as a CI/CD tool. Using Jenkins, you can schedule your automated test executions based on the time that you want. This time I'm using a tool called Jenkins. So we'll set up Jenkins completely on our local computer, and we will create a job in Jenkins. We'll tell the job to execute Postman using the Newman tool and generate test reports in HTML format or CSV format or XML or JSON format. And later, we will also configure Jenkins tool how to send emails to developers or test engineers. All those things is part of my chapter 11. Okay, that's on chapter 11, guys. And again, I have some questions on the chat. So switching to chat. Jaya says, do you cover security testing? The answer is yes, Jaya, but not in this course. For that, I have a different course. You can consult with the Isha team and they will help you with the course curriculum for security testing. So the answer is yes, I teach. And Laiko says, do we have hands-on practice exercise for each chapter? Absolutely, yes. That's why you see here, Laiko, the message hands-on exercise. Wherever you see, in fact, you see this message from chapter 4 onwards until the last chapter. So every chapter is hands-on exercise, meaning practical. I'm not showing any PPTs in this in this course. Okay, it's all teaching you practically only.
Oh, hey, Kiran, it's really about after the class, right? When we have to do it on our end. Do we have any additional exercises that you do not show when you're teaching, but we get to do them after you've taught, just for us to know that we understood what you taught, and for you to know that okay, they are up to speed with whatever I'm teaching.
Yes, understood.
Homework.
No, I understand that point. Yes, I will be giving you. I mean, you guys can actually practice the same thing that I have explained in the course, and all the links will be made available to you. Like if I'm teaching project one, I'll give you access to project one. If I'm teaching project two, I'll give access to project two. And if you say apart from the same project, if you want a new project that you want to try on your own, that also I can give immediately in the class and you guys can practice. Anytime you have difficulty, there are two options. One, we will anyways have a WhatsApp group. You can ask questions in the WhatsApp. I'll answer them. Two, the next day when we catch up in the class, the first 5 minutes or the last 5 minutes, I usually entertain people to ask questions and solve the problems. So if you utilize that time, then definitely you'll get answers practically from me before I start my topics.
Okay. Sounds good. Yeah, that's what I wanted to know. Thanks, Kiran.
Sure. Okay, one more question from Subrat. By learning this course, how much proficiency we can show during interview? Okay, same question. I think every student has this question, and my candid answer is you can obviously say 3 years of Postman API automation testing experience is what you have. Because looking at the coverage of the subject I'm teaching, you can happily claim 3 years of solid experience. Assuming you are listening to what I'm saying and you are practicing in the home after the class is completed. Okay. But confidently, I can say Subrat and others, 3 years minimum you can put. How is the job market for this particular skill set? Of course, the job market is fantastic when it comes to API testing. The reason is today, if a company says we are recruiting test engineers, manual testing, they expect you to know even API testing. So API testing is a default skill set now. It is no longer an additional skill set. Earlier, it was an additional skill set, but now every company wants everyone to know APIs. So this becomes a mandatory skill set now, which means obviously if you compare yourself with another manual tester who doesn't know API and you know API, you are on a better position. Then you say, is there any job support you provide in case we are facing any issue during on job? See, job support has multiple meanings. If your point is like, can you help us in resume preparation? Yes. Can you help us with providing some questions and answers related to interviews? Yes. If your question is like, hey, I attended an interview, these are the questions they asked, what answers should I give? The answer is yes, I provide. These are the areas where I definitely provide assistance and have been doing it for every student on the WhatsApp group. Then Sai says, videos, documents, material of the classes will share with us forever or any time limit. Okay, good question. A genuine question. The answer is lifetime access. Once I share it with you, it is with you only lifetime. I recommend you guys to download it and put it in your personal drive. So it will be 100% lifetime even if you drop my statement. So I give you access to download. You can download it, put it on your personal Google Drive. Okay, then Jaya has a question. Is there more focus on rest assured or SOAP or Postman? Okay, in my course, the focus is on Postman only. But if your general question is like in the market where people are putting focus, I would say the first focus is always on Postman in every organization. Later comes rest assured too. In this course, I'm teaching only Postman too. Okay, Piyush says he has not received access to course material. Piyush, again, understand if you have already paid the course fees, Isha team would have obviously given you course access. If not, you can let me know because I usually take care of giving all the course material and access. So I will definitely give it to anyone. Because see, once my demos are completed, I have the final list of participants who have done their enrollments. Once I receive the enrollment list, I share to their Gmail ID the course content, the entire Google Drive notes. Because
Sir, sir, I was part means I paid the fees there in full. But the only thing is there was some conflicting time, so few sessions I was not able to attend in that batch July in the month of July. But I paid the fees in full.
okay, then you must have received it. If not, don't worry. Give me that screenshot of your payment done to them. I will check with them and I can give you Google Drive access because See, Google Drive end of it, it just has notes, right? And there is no uh, rocket science data present there. It's just knowledge. So I can share it happily to you. Just message me on the WhatsApp. I'll cross check and I'll let you know.
Sure, sir.
Perfect. Okay, Jaya says she was asking in general about the rest assured versus Postman versus SOAP UI. So the answer is, Jaya, honestly speaking, not that I'm teaching Postman. I am in the market since 18 years and I do a lot of interviews. I talk to customers. So I understand the pulse in Indian market and other markets. Postman is the preferred tool in the industry when it comes to API testing. After that, only any other tool comes into picture. The reason is also simple. With rest assured tool, we expect programmers. With Postman tool, even a fresher can automate it. And these days, companies are talking about how a fresher can be more productive without incurring much cost. And people are talking about artificial intelligence as well. Postman has that feature as well, AI feature. So that's why companies are going gaga over Postman too. Okay. Okay, coming back to my chapters. Chapter 12 talks about some general projects in real-time challenges. So whatever you see here, these are all real-time challenges I had faced in my projects, which took a lot of time for me to solve it. But once I explain it, it's a cakewalk to you because all my real-time experiences and challenges, I have kept it here, which means if you are working with a project of this category, how would you automate in Postman? If you are working with a project of this category, how would you automate in Postman? Or if you are working with a project of this type, how would you automate in Postman? So every line you see is a challenge, and how to do it in Postman is what chapter 12 talks about. And chapter 13 is a continuation of chapter 12. Chapter 14 will talk about variables concept, optional topic, but we'll still talk about it. Every automation tool provides the way to create a variable. Postman is no exception. So I will explain how to create variables in Postman and the advantages of global variables, environment variables, collection variables, private variables. We'll talk about them through JavaScripts. Chapter 15, finally, the last chapter, it will talk about how do we troubleshoot and debug all the challenges that we face while testing APIs. Like my APIs are failing. How would I troubleshoot? My script is failing. How would I troubleshoot? I need more assistance with Postman because my course is over and I'm in a project. There is a solution in Postman, right? And where do I see the console logs? How do I print messages on the console of type errors or warnings or logs or informations? How do I share my automation work with another colleague? How do I move my automation from one workspace to another workspace? All those Q and A will be answered. The frequently asked questions will have answers in chapter 15. Okay. And once the course is completed, you will receive a course completion certificate like this. And that probably gives you some benefit for interviews, or if you're already working in an organization and your company has course reimbursement policy, you can provide this course completion certificate and get your money reimbursed. Right? And these are my few feedbacks that I have received from my previous batches. So you can see the screenshots here from others to know how I have done. Right? So these are the 15 chapters that I have in place, guys. And let me recap before I hand over to you guys to ask any questions. So common question that everyone has is the timings. So the timings are same, 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. IST. The classes are Monday to Friday. And this is 95% practical training. Okay. And you will get lifetime access to your class recordings and also Google Drive notes. Once the payment is confirmed, only then these things obviously will come into picture. Yeah. And we'll form a WhatsApp group for all the enrolled participant. And we will discuss everything like Q&A, etc. in that WhatsApp group as well. And you will get my number in the WhatsApp group. So which means after the course also, you can be in touch with me even after 6 months or 1 year to put any questions that you have with regards to software testing or not. Okay. So that brings us towards the closure of our day 1 demo. And my intention was to meet you guys, answer a few simple questions that you have, and also explain the course curriculum. We still have 5 more minutes. If anyone has any general questions, you can ask me now.
Hey, Kiran. So, so I really like the curriculum and your teaching style. So I'm kind of going to go in and enroll. My question is, so is there like a difference in, the skill set and expertise that you need for a fresher versus, being in a lead or manager role? It's like, I know that for fresher, it's going to be more so on the testing side. For a lead and a manager, it's going to be on the framework side. Does your course cover both sides of it, or is it mostly just focused on towards the, new joinees?
Okay, good question. See, ideally, the course that I'm teaching or any course that I pick up, I'm already aware of the fact that we will have mixed participants in any training, and the training has to be catered in such a way that both the participants benefit. Hence, there are a couple of chapters that I have introduced. Example, if you see chapter 1 and 2, these are created with the purpose of ensuring that whether he or she is a fresher or they come from a different background, they should be on the same page of understanding like a lateral experienced guy. So chapter 1 and 2 will bring every one of us who have enrolled onto the same page of understanding. Okay. So if you say you are a fresher, you can still join as is with whatever basic knowledge you have on manual testing. That's more than sufficient. And there is no prerequisite that you have to come from Java background or you should know Java coding or JavaScript coding. Absolutely not required. If you can understand the language I'm speaking, that's more than sufficient. If you say that, hey, I know basics of manual testing, I know what my testers do, that's more than sufficient. And regarding prerequisites that I generally want, I'm anyways covering it in my chapter 1 and 2. So be assured on that.
Yeah, I was mostly looking for the leadership roles. If you're covering the other side of it, where you're focused more on the architecture, the framework, and those kind of high level aspects of testing, not so about whether we're getting a request and response.
Got it. So in that case, I would say chapter 3 would be good, from a management perspective or from a leadership perspective, where you will be able to tell your team, right? Assuming that you are leading a team and you don't want to get into the hands-on testing now, but there has to be a guiding factor from you. So chapter 3 is very key for you so that you can question your team. Hey, I understand that we are automating APIs, but are we covering this?
Okay.
And if they are like, hey, I don't know what is this, but you will have
Mm.
the edge of explaining them what you mean by that,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
Similarly, when I'm talking about chapter 6, there is a framework structure that I'm building here,
Okay.
right? So you'll understand, okay, this is the framework that my team also should do. But I'm teaching how to do it also. You will listen how to do it, but you will ask the team, I don't care about how you do it, but this is what I need at least, but I can give you heads up of how it can be done,
Right. So you would
right?
cover all the practices too, right? From your experience of creating frameworks and what works, what does not work, and things like that.
Yes, I'm doing it.
I just have one more question. So I'll be, it's long weekend next week for us. So all of next week, I have a planned trip. I won't be able to attend the classes. Is there like a catch up that I could do for next week?
Sure. Next week. Acha, you are available this week, but not the next week.
Yeah, just next week I have a planned trip, but otherwise I'm planning to attend all the live sessions. But all of next week I won't be there.
Okay, sure. We can certainly have a catch up and a recap as well. But let me also tell you what is that we are doing in this week and next week, and this is for everyone. This week, since the demo is completed, tomorrow onwards the actual classes will start. Tomorrow I'm starting off with chapter 1, and to complete chapter 1, I need minimum 3 days or sometimes 4 days, depending on the questions and answers coming in. Meaning this week we are completing chapter 1. Next week, which you might be missing, we'll be touch basing chapter 2, and that's purely theoretical topic, and it's very easy to give a quick recap also to any student who missed it from my side, and there won't be any rocket science that we are going to miss it. Yeah. What is more important is from chapter 4 onwards, where practicals start, right? If you are missing this, then definitely you need to listen to the video and practice it. But the first 3 chapters are more of theory, so there wouldn't be any great loss that you are going to incur of missing these classes.
Okay, great. So next week, you still think I should be fine? I'll reach out to Isha too. I mean, if I have the videos, it's good. And if I have any questions, probably I'll just touch base with you.
Yes, yes. And even, I mean, whether you are on leave or still in classes, the recordings will be coming your way. So they're always available for everyone once they enroll it.
Thanks, Kiran.
Sure, welcome, like. And I see a question from Sai on the chat. Can we consider Postman automation testing as intermediate and rest assured is mandatory for full automation? No, Sai, that interpretation itself is not correct. See, this is probably a misunderstanding for most of the automation guys or manual testing guys. They consider Postman as a manual testing tool, but that's not correct. Postman is a wonderful tool which can do manual testing of APIs and also automation testing of APIs. Whatever I can do in rest assured, Postman can do it. Whatever Postman can do, rest assured cannot do it. There are so many features that Postman can do, rest assured can't even do that. Because I do both the tools, I know the good and bad of both the tools. So if you know Postman, you are not intermediate. You are an expert in automation testing of APIs using a tool called Postman. So there is no rich and poor here between Postman and rest assured. Both are same tools, just that they are competitors.
Okay, Kiran. Because why I asked this question is, I started as a Java developer and I moved to the management roles. So right now I was working as an assistant manager. But again, I want to go into the technical because that is where my heart lies. So just I want to make my career back into the more in technical. So that's why I asked this question.
No, makes sense, perfect. But Postman does a lot of automation like rest assured does. And the beauty is in Postman, you have the graphical user interface, but rest assured does not have that graphical user interface. Hence, you depend on a third-party editor like Eclipse or IntelliJ.
Kiran, one last question. Are you also going to show us in your practicals, like what and how the requirements look in terms of API validations? What do we get from functional specifications or design documents, the schemas that are given to us as testers, and what we need to validate based on those documents?
Okay, understood. I think the answer is yes. I'm going to show it. For example, so this is one of the application that I'm taking as first project in our course. This is the banking application that we are going to automate. This is the front-end application. So first I'll explain this. This is going to give you 30% answer to your question. After this, I'm going to take to the APIs for this particular project. So once I take you to this particular API documentation, here the API documentation is also made available. This will give probably another 30% answer to your question. The remaining 50%, I will manually write it in my document while I'm teaching it. So I think one of the project I took in the last batch. Yeah. So I play the role of developer when I'm teaching this to you. So here I said project 1 API documentation. I tell what is the project name, what the type of APIs, how many APIs, what is the description, what is the syntax of each API, and what is the expected result as well for each API.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. Yeah, thanks,
Yeah.
Kiran.
Yeah, so this will be there. Okay, I see a question from Geeta. In interview, if asked, how do we validate response time using standard JavaScript snippet, we need to say or just by analyzing response in console. If in case asked to write code, we need to remember JavaScript snippet. Yeah, so Geeta, that's a good question. So to validate response time, we have a snippet called pm.response.response time. Using that snippet, we can find out how much time the server took to give the response. So since I teach, I remember them by default. Now that you are learning it, you may not remember it immediately. So therefore, there is a template section called snippets in Postman. Using snippets, we can get the code. As you practice, you will automatically remember the entire syntax, right? So even if you take any developer in any organization with 10 years experience, they remember most of the functions as if they by-hearted it. But when they started their career, they had their own difficulties. Same even in this course as well, for you, for me, for everyone as well. So initially, you don't have to remember. I will never recommend anyone by heart the code. Coding should never be by hearted. It is just like mathematics. Mathematics is a subject where your kids or my kids has to practice it, only then you become an expert. Coding is also same. Until and unless you write, you will never remember it automatically in your brain. And in the interviews, people don't ask to write it on your own because Postman, everyone knows that Postman can generate it, right? So you don't have to tell all the 3 lines of code, but if you tell the function name, that's enough. Like I told you, pm.response.response time. Using that, I can print the response time happily on the console. So the way you frame your answer to the interview question becomes the scoring point. The moment you say, okay, this is the code pm.test, write your test case, then function pm.expect pm.response.response time to be below 2000. This is the right code actually. No, I told it as if I by-hearted it. The interview will know that, okay, Kiran, you by-hearted and came, so I don't think so I can recruit you. Because it looks like a by-heart. So I have to tell him that there is a function called this. If I use it, we can print it and capture it. So your experience has to speak, not that you by-hearted and that's speaking. So that's how we have to change the interviewer's mind. I hope I have answered your question. If not, let me know.
Hey, Kiran,
Uh,
quick question.
yes,
Also do the Chrome Dev Tools to kind of debug issues or, capture the response names and things like that. There is a lot of information that it gives us, right, when we are doing browser testing.
yes. Chrome DevTools we are going to use. In fact, I think in the troubleshooting chapter, I have it as part of it.
Okay, great.
And also when I'm teaching Postman Interceptor and this chapter 12, I have it. So it comes mostly when I'm talking about this concept. Import
Uh,
HAR file, import curl snippet. This is when I will touch Chrome DevTools.
okay, great. Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions from others? Today I see a lot of good questions coming from majority of the folks. Impressive. So guys, even if there is a question that comes to your mind after the class is completed, please post it on the group chat. Me or one of my team members will be happy to assist you guys further as well. Okay. So if there are no more questions, we are happy to sign off for today's class. And let me say, the batch starts from tomorrow itself. Feel free to join the class tomorrow as well to understand how my teaching style looks like, which is our day 1 class. If today is day 0, tomorrow will be day 1. You'll get to understand how the chapter 1 looks like when I teach it. And then you can also take a decision whether this is the course that you're planning to recruit with this trainer. Okay. Nevertheless, put your questions on the group chat in WhatsApp if you have any questions that needs an answer from my side. Okay. Sai says how to pay money. Sai, I think in the group chat, they say, I think once the demo is completed, we will post that message on the chat. You will have the contact number of the person that helps you on the payment part as well. Okay. Just wait for another 5-10 minutes. You'll get that answer on the chat. Thank you. Everyone. Good night. Take care. See you guys tomorrow. Bye bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.